Hour 2, live in L.A., wherever you may be and wherever you may be listening. And however you may be listening. We're iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. Good hour. Mark Schlereth stops by Jason McIntyre. Monday's headlines today. Tomorrow's headline today. Joy Taylor is joining us. Joy, how are you?
I'm great.
I've always felt this in our business. Okay, Joy and I have worked for a bunch of companies, right? Me, more of them because I'm older. And I always felt like the two things I want from management, only two things. Morale, that's your job, not mine. Make people feel important. So when I come to work every day, my coworkers feel important. I don't pay them, you do. That's your job. Second thing is spot trends. Get out of stuff early and into stuff early. I don't have time. I'm on my treadmill. I'm a player. My job is to score points. That's my job. Management never tells me what to. I never see my management. I mean, really. I don't see them. My job is to score points. Joy and I are scoring points. We're trying to put points up on the scoreboard. We can't control morale, and we don't have time to be spotting trends. And if we could, we don't have the. We're non-management. We can't do anything. Get into certain sports, out of certain sports, into good contracts, out of bad contracts. I feel at Fox I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Best management team I've ever worked for. But I talk about this because Sam Presti yesterday had a press conference finally. Lost Paul George, lost Westbrook. Westbrook's talking in about 1 hour from now, but Presti was talking yesterday. He had two comments. Here's the first, Sam Presti.
I know that he had used the term mutual. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because that would infer that we were wanting to trade Paul George, which I think most people would agree that probably wasn't on the top of our offseason priority list.
That's fair. You got a little trap there. Fair. But he also said something else, as if to push off criticism. He said, quote, small market teams operate with significant disadvantages. No reason to pretend otherwise. This is in no way, we cannot be extraordinarily successful. I'm not saying that. It simply means we have to be thinking differently, finding our advantages by other means. Stop right there. Harden, KD, Westbrook, Paul George. All four gone. No titles, one final. Sam, I'm told you're smart, and I'm told you're a great guy. But a lot of that's on you. Let's go back to what I said about management. Paul George, Westbrook, Durant, and Harden, their job is to score points. Your job is morale. Didn't do a very good job. Your job is to spot trends. Did a lousy job. 8-9 years ago, league was becoming a three-ball shooter. I would scream on the air at my former employer in here. John Wall, D. Rose, Westbrook, trade them. Hyper-athletic guards that can't shoot. Sell them when they're high, before they get surgeries, before everybody figures out, that doesn't work in the playoffs. If I can spot it, and I'm just a radio goof, then you better spot the trends. And Sam didn't. He chose Westbrook over Harden. Jerry West wouldn't have. Harden couldn't. Russell Westbrook struggled to start at UCLA. They didn't know what to do with him. He was an athlete, not a basketball player. He got to the NBA. Oklahoma City didn't know what to do with him. They're like, he's athletic. He's not really a great. He kept telling you what he was. You didn't watch. You didn't spot the trends. Warriors spotted the trends. Rockets spotted the trends. LeBron James spotted the trend. About 9 years ago, LeBron just started shooting threes. His game moved outside because LeBron, one of the rare athletes that can do what management can do. He could spot a trend coming. Warriors spotted a trend coming. Jerry West spotted a trend coming. Sam Presti. I'll take the hyper-athletic guy who can't shoot over the three guys that can. You could have bailed on Westbrook 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. After the Paul George Westbrook year, I would have traded him then. And I would have gone out and gotten a Mike Conley, somebody that can give me 18 a game, pass to Paul George. This is on Presti. That's your job in management. You got to spot stuff before it happens. Can't ask players to figure that out. LeBron's very, very rare that he spotted a trend before management did. But this is, you can't, listen, I don't think players are without blame. You know, I'm not one of these guys. I think the NBA can sometimes, it's never the player's fault. But in this issue, you had four great players. You butchered the Harden trade. You spotted early that Kevin Durant was a little unhappy with Westbrook. How do I know that? Because I read 32 articles where Kevin Durant had told people privately, coaches, GM, Westbrook's hard to play with. Then you get Paul George, and you see Westbrook unraveling, and you could have moved off it then, and you just didn't. So that's on you. By the way, shift to this. People don't get, football topic, Patriots, people don't get, smart people just don't get, like, dumb. Like when Phil Jackson used to coach the Lakers. You know, he was a really smart guy, and then he'd get conveniently dumb. I'm not criticizing officials. I just made a random comment. No, Phil Jackson's too smart to get conveniently naive. The New England Patriots do virtually everything well, except one thing. Man, they are lousy at drafting wide receivers out of college. They're not even mediocre. They stink. Julian Edelman was a rare get, and it took it 5 years to work. And so yesterday, a video came out. The Patriots went and drafted a wide receiver in the first round, N'Keal Harry from Arizona State. I watched a ton of him in college. He's a very nice player, hard worker, Juju Smith-Schuster, big, strong, tough, physical player, not a burner, doesn't separate, but good after the ball, works his tail off. Belichick called Herm Edwards, coach at Arizona State, and said, can he fit into our system? And Herm said, yeah, and I think he'll be a nice player. There was some video out yesterday. Everybody's like, oh, my, here we go. Tom's finally got a guy. But it's interesting because I was reading an article, Bucky Brooks wrote an article a couple months back on what the Patriots do. What's the secret sauce behind the Patriots? And they listed 5 things Bucky said as a former player and scout. They focused on each player's best traits. They build a roster that features versatile players. They place greater value on intelligence over athleticism. Toughness matters. It's always about the team. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of football cliches, right? The one thing I'll say about the intelligence is, this is where I think sometimes Brady and Belichick, this is why my theory on why they can't get college receivers right. You've got the smartest coach in NFL history. You've got an older quarterback. This is a complex, daunting, overwhelming system. And the one player that is tied to Tom on that field is the receiver. And you keep drafting these college guys, and after about 2 years, when they can't synthesize perfectly with Tom, it's like, we're out of here. Listen, offensive linemen have their own coach, and running back is just a simpler position to play in terms of see the hole, hit the hole. The defensive player, Patriots draft every position brilliantly. They can't get receiver right. And so I do think when I look at N'Keal Harry, everybody yesterday is like, oh, and I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. I will believe a rookie receiver can come into New England and be a big playmaker. I haven't seen it in 20 years. They got Edelman right, and it took 5 years. And by the way, he was a college quarterback, so he was probably better at kind of understanding Brady's kind of mind. This offense is tough. On the offensive side, not on the defensive side. On the offensive side, this offense is rough on young players, and it's brutal on young wide receivers. And so everybody's getting hyped up in New England. And N'Keal Harry's supposed to be a great kid. I watched him in college. Herm Edwards has told me, wonderful kid. But, man, I've seen this offense, Brady Belichick, chew up star college receivers. Chew them up. And it's just, man, Reggie Wayne came into this. Remember Reggie Wayne? Reggie Wayne went to New England and said, I don't like it. It's no fun. It's too demanding. This offense, it is just squeezing every bit of that sponge, and I think it's tough on receivers. That's why, by the way, they get Chris Hogan was in the league. Wes Welker was in the league. Randy Moss worked, because Randy Moss is like a savant football knowledge. Randy comes in, and he just instinctively, Randy's first of all, he's one of the greatest players ever, but he's instinctively, it worked immediately. But Ocho didn't work. Reggie Wayne didn't work. A lot of guys, they will basically go get NFL guys who have kind of understand the league, veterans, work them in. I'll believe this when I see it. I've just seen them I think it's hard. Because you can't tell me they're great at everything and can't get one thing right. There's got to be a reason for it. And I think the reason wide receivers, young ones, don't work there, it's just too much. And Tom won't throw to anybody he doesn't trust. He doesn't trust a 21-year-old who he's never seen until 2 months ago. I'll believe it when I see it. See, a lot of people are hyping that up. Not the journalist. That right there was Big J journalism. John, take notes on that. Take notes on that. A lot of people on the hype train on that. Not Uncle Colin. Nope. By the way, have I acknowledged I'm going to a Keith Urban concert Saturday?
Well, it's a loose term for concert. It's a private event that Keith Urban is performing at.
Private? What does private mean? It's
private meaning it's at, what, a ranch? You said it was at a friend's home.
Well, I don't know where it is specifically. It is a private event. But it's not that private. There'll be at least 6 or 7 people there. I'm joking. There'll be hundreds of people there.
Okay,
it's just not on his. It's not on.
That's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not on his tour date thing. That's what artists do. Like Kenny G. Remember Kenny G?
Yes.
I went to a party once and there was Kenny G. It's not on his tour date, but if somebody's going to pay a guy a lot of money and they show up and they sing and do whatever they do.
So I was right. This is fancy.
I don't do fancy events.
Are you going to wear a belt buckle?
Oh, yeah. Gigantic belt buckle with a big dollar sign. It's camp starting. I'll hold out if I don't get the belt buckle I want. All right, we got a Zeke update and Mark Schlereth around the corner as well. Summer is here. It is barbecue season. I just love this time of year. Football's around the corner. Put burgers on the grill. Put chicken on the grill. Put pork on the grill. Salmon. It's unbelievable. I'm not good at grilling salmon, by the way. My wife can. I can't. I'm just not very good with salmon. Fish is tough to grill. I let my wife come over and do that. Butcher Box has all that high-density protein. It is fantastic. They have salmon from Bristol Bay, Alaska, free-range organic chicken, grass-fed beef. They work with the best farms, animals humanely raised, an ethical process. And it's free shipping, so it's less than $6 a meal. And listen, anybody that's bought a piece of salmon, it's not costing you $6. It's often the most expensive thing on the menu, $28, $32 at a nice restaurant. ButcherBox.com. If you sign up right now, ButcherBox.com/herd. $20 off the first box, plus 6 free burgers in every box until October 15th. ButcherBox.com/HERD. Free shipping, $6 a meal. No hormones, no antibiotics ever at ButcherBox.